How to succeed despite your daddy issues. So I'm sure you're one of those individuals, you struggling with daddy issues. That's why you clicked on this video. You probably wondered over the years why your daddy's not in your life, why he never loved you, why he's not there for you. Even though you don't say it out loud, this bothers you a lot. It causes you to have low self-esteem, low self-worth. You probably settling for a mediocre life because you don't feel you're worthy of anything because you're struggling with those daddy issues. And what I want to do in this video is help you to be successful despite those daddy issues. So let me tell you how my daddy issues started. See, my little sister and I just got off the elementary school bus. We went in the house. We walked in and we saw our mama crying. So I asked my mama, "Mama, why you crying?" She said, "Junior, go in the room and ask your dad was going to leave us." I went to the room, my dad was watching television, and I said, "Daddy, Mama said you're going to leave us. Is that true?" He said, "Oh no, son, I'm never going to leave. I'm going to put us in a better home outside of the hood." Over the next 2 weeks, I didn't see my daddy around the house at all. I asked my mama, "Where's my daddy?" She said, "Junior, that daddy's gone. He left us 2 weeks ago." I went into my parents' room. I opened up my daddy's closet door, and it was totally empty. You see, at that moment, I felt I wasn't worthy. I wasn't good enough because my daddy looked me in the eyes, and then all of a sudden, he's gone. And these daddy issues will have so much an effect on my life all the way into my adulthood. So I want to give you a couple things that you can do to succeed despite your daddy issues, but I want to warn you, they will not be easy. After my dad left, I always kept a picture in my wallet, and I was there all the time. It's a picture of my daddy holding me as a baby. And as I look at that picture, I always wonder what was so bad about me as a baby that made my daddy not want to be a part of my life. This was the first thing that I had to do to free myself from my daddy issues. You see, when I acknowledged the fact that I wasn't a priority for my daddy, and that's the reason he left, it made me realize like, oh, okay, there's no use in me asking over and over again why my dad not in my life. The truth is, I just wasn't a priority. And my daddy made this very, very easy for me. One day, my daddy called the house, and my mom was talking to him on the phone, and I heard him say to him, "Hey, Junior's not sleeping at night. He missed you. He wants you to come home." So I got on the phone with my dad. I said, "Daddy, when you gonna come home?" He said, "I ain't. So you need to start eating and go to sleep." And that was the end of the conversation. I wasn't a priority for my daddy. He told me straight up he wasn't coming home. And you have to acknowledge the fact that you wasn't a priority to your daddy. And that's why he's not in your life. The next thing you have to do is be the man of your life despite not having a father in your life. Now, what I mean by that is start taking responsibility for your life. And you can make all the excuses in the world about not having a daddy. That's the reason you make bad decisions. Listen, I did it. I was failing in school. I always used the fact my daddy wasn't in my life as an excuse. And no matter how much I used these excuses, they didn't help my life. So I had to start taking responsibility for my life. And if you want to be successful despite your daddy issues, you're going to have to take full responsibility for your life. Realize that the decisions you make have nothing to do with your daddy. You are the person that's going to allow yourself to be successful in life or not be successful despite your daddy issues. For example, my mom used to ask me all the time, "Junior, go out there and cut the grass." And I used to say, "Mama, I don't know how to use a lawnmower because my daddy's not here to teach me." You know, that was the excuse I always had. I made up my mind that I was going to learn how to use a lawnmower. I decided to go out there, put some gas in that lawnmower, and figure out how to use it. So I got out there and I pulled that cord in that lawnmower. I started it and I started pushing it. It took me forever to cut that grass down. But at that moment, I learned how to use a lawnmower. And you know what I did after I cut that yard? I got so excited. I went to my neighbors and I started offering to cut their grass. And they actually allowed me to do so. And I started my first business cutting grass with that lawnmower. And if you're sitting back waiting for your daddy to show up in your life to do something that you can start doing for yourself today, you will never be successful. But if you want to be successful despite your daddy issues, start taking full responsibility for your life. You have to see yourself as worthy despite your daddy issues. I know it's tough when you see other kids with their daddy and you say to yourself, "Wow, if my daddy's in my life, I will be more valuable. I have more self-worth." That's all in your mind. And as long as that's in your mind, you will not be successful with your daddy issues. I remember when I was playing college basketball and I was moving to my sophomore year. And when I was in Houston, I used to get up in the morning, give my mom a call, and I would drive to the YMCA so I could practice at like 5 in the morning. One particular morning I was in there practicing, this father and his son came in there. Now they was on the other side of the court and I was practicing on my side. And I was working hard on my game and I saw that the father stopped with his son and they was watching me practice. So the father came up in there and said, "Hey man, do you play basketball for a team?" I said, "Yeah, I'm playing college basketball." He said, "Man, that's great. I really want my son to play college basketball and I want him to face a college athlete. Would you be willing to play my son one-on-one?" I said, "Absolutely." Over there and I played his son. Now his son was like a freshman in high school. I was a lot bigger than him, a lot stronger than him. It was really an easy game for me. He didn't have that much skill. Once we was done playing, the man, started talking to me. He said, "Hey, what's your name?" I said, "My name is Gene Mosley." He said, "Oh, great. Nice to meet you, Mr. Mosley. And this is going to be weird when I say this. Do you know what our last name is?" I said, "What?" He said, "Well, my name is Dan and our last name is Mosley." I said, "Really? How you spell it?" He said, "Mosley." I said, "That's how you spell mine." And I remember this dread came over me. And I was like, wow, this kid is so lucky. He got the Mosley that wanted to be in his son's life. And I got the Mosley that was a deadbeat. And I was so happy this kid had his dad in his life. You probably see others with their dad and you feel that you're not worthy, you're not valuable because your dad is not in your life. That's not true. You have worth, you have value. You can be successful. You are worthy, but you have to see yourself as worthy. Because when you see yourself as worthy, when you see yourself as valuable, you can be successful despite your daddy issues. Because you are worthy to be great.